Hell-bent on getting that elusive win at home, Geelong lifted another notch in the last quarter. Fred Cofield had finally found a path around Everett Stevens, while Geelong's mid-season import Darren Rowe found the hoop. The Cannons did everything to get back in front. But Geelong were too determined, holding on to win 103-99.
This is a very tough venue to win in. Melvin Thomas with a big 2 points here, and the Hawks led 29-22 in the first quarter. Like Chris Steele gets a nice drive and protect the basketball really well. Melvin Thomas steps back and hits the three.
He had 17 points in the first quarter, and this man, Butch Hayes, in the second quarter had 13 points. So those guys were doing their job. The Hawks, in fact, were up by 52-44 at half-time.
And Andrew Vlahoff, then that wall gets going there. Extremely tough to stop in there. Vlahoff with the drive again. Wasn't enough of that. James Crawford with the baseline jump shot. As a matter of fact, he had 15 points in the third quarter.
Just over a minute left and Fisher was double-teamed. Fisher gets free and hits the jumper for a couple. Dishes it out to Corcoran for a three-pointer, and what a time to make one. Thomas's shot could have tied it up. The Hawks have got it back again. Hayes for three. The Illawarra Hawks are in front by a point. The Hawks have won it 98-97.
Give him half an inch and he'll take a mile. 10-second warning buzzer. Haley was in there for some time.
The Suns could only manage 13 second-quarter points. North Melbourne piled on 42 to lead 66-37 at the half-time break. David Blades inspired his teammates in the third quarter. The point guard relished his extra court time, dishing off assists and working overtime in the rebounding department.
Very patient, waiting for the good shot. Senstock. Blades. Big defensive board. And here we go. Darryl Johnson.
But the margin was just too great. North Melbourne appeared to use the half to fine-tune some set plays. The Giants had 8 players in double figures. The Suns were simply outclassed.
Jones drops for 2. Not the right option from Ricky Jones, and the Giants will more than likely make him pay.
And they have. It was a tremendous block. Nice shot by Aaron Trahair to try and get it off, but it was still blocked. Mario Donaldson with a nice baseline jumper. James Crawford. Do not jump Mario Donaldson and get in that poster.
Perth was down by 3, though, at the end of the first quarter. This is pretty tough. Little wrap there, and Keogh pops the 3. He had a good start. In fact, 13 points in the first half. And Sydney was just hanging on to a lead. They were down a little bit early in the second quarter, but they managed to keep the lead most of the time. Here's another tray coming up from Greg Hubbard. Sydney 54-49 at the half, and they opened their lead out a little bit early in the third, but Trevor Torrance with the breakaway jam helped things a lot.
So Sydney with a 1-point lead, but look at Perth on the transition. Blocked. Keogh. He's outnumbered, so he's going to wait. Hubbard back to a play. The Kings trying to force the stop. Little lob, nice play. Ground, great stuff. James Crawford gives Perth back the lead.
The Magic, in the first quarter, racked up 40 points to lead by 14. Quite amazing. Tony Ronaldson had 13 points in that quarter alone. There he is having a little rest, and he deserved it.
And before that, George hit a basket. That's just Robert Rose basketball. He's just a fantastic player, and don't the Magic know it. But George coming back in the lineup, boy, doesn't he give them a big boost too.
Adelaide held the Magic to 17 in the second quarter. In fact, they got to within 5 points. So the game had tightened right up.
Half-time scorers ends up on the deck. Graham.
And the Magic can just swing the basketball around, and they throw it that extra pass. David Graham with the 3-point basket. Robert Rose with the steal and the finish. Not many players can finish like Robert Rose.
We're in a downwards stretch. The home straight. Adelaide score. Do they? Yes.
We've got to say Magic are looking good right now.
Using up the clock, I think that's their intention at the moment. Jordan to Dawes, little alley-oop, easy as you like. Too good, too big.
There he was making 2 points early. Matthew Reese with a tray and the Rollers lead 24-19 at quarter time. Little scare going around the Falcons camp there because they're trying to secure their top 8 spot with Illawarra breathing.
And there's a man that is determined to make the finals. It's Derek Rucker. Nice drive. Tony Jensen, is he playing some serious ball or what?
Oh, he's having a great year. Newcastle rode a 28-point second quarter to lead by 4 at the half. Tony, in fact, had 10 points in that second quarter. Derek Rucker, another tray. Peter Hill had 11 points in a pretty high-scoring third quarter. And the Gold Coast just subsided a little bit after that. Newcastle finishing strongly. And fittingly, the big fella, and I'm not talking about Terry Dozier. Coming up, we'll see a nice little icing on the cake. There he is, went for the dunk.
Leroy Loggins with the give-and-go move, accelerating there and putting it soft off the glass. He gets the ball taken from him here. North Melbourne kicks the ball to D-Mac, and he just lays it up. I love it how he lays it in sometimes, and sometimes he jams it home, reverses it. He's just so versatile. He does a lot of things. North Melbourne getting a piece of the basketball. Not just D-Mac going after the steals, Daryl Pierce getting his hand on the basketball there and getting the steal. Then he backs it up with a three-point bomb.
Well, the Bullets managed to turn this game a little. They actually led by 3 at halftime, which gave them a little bit of confidence going into the third, where Leroy Loggins stepped up with 17 points. The Bullets had a total of 31 to the Giants' 32. Shane Heal gets the 3. He was 7 for 16 from three-point range, and this was going to go right down to the wire. D-Mac gets in with the lay-in after the steal, but the Giants were outscored 38-30 in the last quarter. Roger Smith finishing it off with a dunk, which didn't count.
My name is Adonis Jordan. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, in the USA. I started playing basketball at the age of 9. I love the game of basketball. Basketball is everything to me. It's my friend. It's my girlfriend. I moved to California 2 years of high school, my last 2 years of high school, and then I went to the University of Kansas. I appeared in 2 Final Fours and won 3 conference championships. I was drafted by the Seattle Supersonics in the second round. I played with Denver for 2 weeks before coming to Australia. Now I play for the Southeast Melbourne Magic. The reason for me coming to Australia is the opportunity to play, to better my game, so after the season I can go back and try out for an NBA club. My favorite NBA team is the Phoenix Suns. I love Kevin Johnson. I try to beat Kevin Johnson because I love the way he plays, and I think he's the best point guard in the NBA right now. I love Australia. I think Australia is a great place to live. The people here are very friendly and very kind. It's real similar to New York and California. It has a lot of the same things that I have back at home, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, places like that I love to go to. In the States, the nightclubs close at 2:30, but not here in Australia. You can party all night long if you want. I go out a little bit here in Australia. I like to meet people. I like to mingle with people. I think I'm a friendly person. I'm a good guy to be around, so I like to go out and have a lot of fun. You're looking at a real tourist. Everywhere I go, I don't go anywhere without my camera. Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, I've been all over Australia, taking pictures of everything that I can take back and show to my mom in the States. From my point of view, I think the NBL this year has been great. You have a lot of tough teams out there, and for the Magic, it's been an up and down season for us, but I think we're playing the best basketball right now. There's a lot of teams, a lot of good teams out there. You got North Giants, you got Sydney, you got Perth, you got Brisbane. There's a lot of tough teams out there, so the team that's ready to play that night is the team that's going to win. Now, coming to the end of the season, here's some highlights from round 21.
Gaze and Copeland was sizzling.
Fantastic!
But so were the Super Cats. And at the end of the first quarter, Geelong found themselves up by 2. The Tigers needed to leave Geelong in their tracks in the second term.
Dunk time for Copeland.
Copes made it look so easy that Drewy just had to try it.
Goal!
But Geelong's Darren Rowe had this jam
Darren Rowe!
to help the Super Cats to a 65-58 halftime lead. But the Tigers lashed back. Dave Simmons putting up a 12-point term to put Melbourne out in front by 5 going into the last. Geelong mustered everything. Rebound Ray and Simon Curl combined to have the Supercats back level with still 10 minutes on the clock.
Curl the border, great work!
As the lead teetered with 4 minutes left. But with 2 to go, Geelong lifted again.
Here's a dunk coming up.
And with Hinch in a light and the fans in a frenzy, the Tigers couldn't match it with the Supercats as they powered away to a 16-point upset, 131 to 115.
Sydney at quarter time 32-23, and that is a critical play. Broken ribs for Derek Rucker in that clash with Dean Uthoff, and that really did have a big effect on the game.
Leon Shrimmingham, he was solid, had 27 points, and he's the go-to man for the Kings.
He got into a bit of foul trouble early, Leon.
He sure
picked up his game gradually. Terry Dozier tried hard, banging away.
At this point in the game, the Sydney Kings, that's their only starter on the floor, Leon Shrimmingham. The Kings trying to get their substitutes a little bit of a run here, and Neil Turner was even in this basketball game. Late in the game, Leon Shrimmingham with a nice lob over the top.
Newcastle was down by 15 at the half. Tried to come back, but just couldn't quite get a sustained run. Huge block from Shrimmingham there on Matty Alexander. Marty McLean about to pot a nice 3 off the screen. Newcastle went into the final quarter 18 points down and was just a bit too far to go for them.
Kowski's going to make it 13. Jason Reese added 8 to give Canberra the lead at the first break, 32-29. The Cannons continued to lead out in the second quarter before Darren Perry steadied the Hobart ship to guide his side back to a narrow lead with the help of Calvin Telford. Watch it.
Replay.
Watch it. Look at him go. Right on the halftime hooter, Fred Cofield launched his first shot of the match right on target. It gave Canberra a 1-point lead at the change, 56-55. The Cannons went inside early in the third quarter to set Jason Reese on a scoring run. Shooting 85%, he helped Canberra establish a 13-point lead going into the championship quarter, 82-69. The Hobart Devils managed to get that break back to 6, but that was as close as they could get as the Cannons held on to win their final home match of the season, 107-101. Perry Wachowski!
Mark Davis, they don't call him the chairman of the boards for nothing. He thinks every shot is going to miss. He goes after that one, gets his own rebound.
He had 10 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, 13 in the third quarter, wound up with 40. There's another clean-up. Although that was off a nice little steal from the general. Clever heads-up play.
That's right, heads-up play by Smythe. That's Andrews Faldenis, and his minutes have been limited this year because of the play of Chris Blatemore, but he's coming in and playing a good role for the Adelaide Sixers now.
Adelaide led by 15 at half-time. Mark Davis, well, he was shooting well from everywhere. The free throw line, from the field, we'll give you the stats later on.
Look at the ball just bouncing the right way for the Adelaide Sixers. It looked like the Rollers had a possession there, but Tony D'Ambrosio, he had a very solid game, 22 points.
And so did Matthew Reese, as a matter of fact. Good performance from the Australian contingent. Mike Mitchell, tough bucket there underneath. Funny thing about this game, Rob Rose only had 10 points and 5 assists, but he really didn't need any more than that with MD doing such a big job. That was the other thing too. Mark Davis had a great defensive game against Mitchell, and here the block on Steve Key. 18-point lead at three-quarter time to Adelaide, and they kind of eased up near the finish.
Import Ricky Jones watched the opening minutes from the bench as the Suns caught South East Melbourne napping. Jones made an immediate impact, scoring 7 points within a few minutes, but a bench technical undid the good work, the Magic going to the first break 3-point leaders. The Suns, now full of confidence, were determined to make a game of it. Jones continued to get amongst the points, and the Suns out-rebounded their more fancied rivals 21-16 in the first half. It was a seesawing affair in the third term. The Magic got a slight break, but the Suns refused to lie down. Magic led 79-74 at the final change.
He's tipped it clear for someone else, and here's a 3, or is it a 2?
The Suns can put this on all season. Anything can happen. But Lucas, a bad pass, and he'll make them pay. It's down to 7. Dickinson with the big shot.
It's there.
Dickinson. Can he be a match winner? Q-Bank. Dickinson for 3. This will win it.
Yes, it's there.
It's gone down. Sensational, Cameron Dickinson. He's won it. Oh, my goodness.
The Magic led 32-17 at the quarter-time break.
Darren Lucas doing it in both ends of the floor for the Magic, and boy, don't they look tough. They've got people coming off the bench, especially Bruce Bolden and David Graham now coming off the bench for him. It makes it even stronger. Andre Moore with a big bucket there.
Sorry, Steve. Brisbane outscored them 29-25 in the second quarter to narrow the gap to 11. Sibley with a little hook there. Darren Lucas again. This is one of his biggest scoring games of the year, Darren Lucas, who can turn it on when he needs to, but rarely needs to. Time ticking down. The Magic were out by 15 at the end of the third quarter, and Brisbane, well,